Well, it's Halloween time and the 50th anniversary of The Exorcist, so what better reason would it be than to bring it back to theaters, which Fathom Events did a couple weeks ago. I saw it with my cousin. I've seen the movie once before. She hasn't seen it. I love going to the movie theater with people who haven't seen the movie, or just watching a movie with somebody who hasn't seen the movie before because it's interesting to like gauge different people's perspectives on it. You know what like me, a person who's seen it before, thinks of it compared to a first time viewer. So everybody says like The Exorcist is the scariest movie ever made. Um, I don't really know what the scariest movie ever made is, but it's probably not The Exorcist. I enjoy it a lot as a movie. I don't really think it's scary or like disturbing. I mean, yeah, some scenes are a little creepy and stuff, but I wouldn't exactly say it's the scariest movie ever made. Like as a movie itself, as a horror movie itself, I really liked it. So many horror movies, especially nowadays, are just very formulaic. They rely too much on jump scares, and it just seems like you've seen the movie 500 times before. Though I guess that also applies to older horror movies as well. But this one isn't really like that. It takes itself pretty seriously. The actors in it are very just well trained actors. Every actor in this movie is fantastic. And the setting seems really real. They're able to be kind of spooky without trying too hard. They strike a nice balance. Doesn't really rely on jump scares. Like there's a couple, but not like that's not why you like the movie, I guess. It doesn't like try to scare you every minute of the movie, um, because it knows it doesn't really have to. Like you get invested in the world and the characters. It's not one of those horror movies which are like, oh my god, scary thing, scary thing, and then eventually you get numb to it. Like this movie kind of has a couple scares in the early parts, and then gets really intense by the end. So when something frightening does happen, you notice it more instead of like, oh my god, the head got chopped off fifth time this movie. The movie is pretty slow paced, which I think wouldn't really appeal to the TikTok crowd who needs every movie to be less than 90 minutes long. But I kind of like slow paced movies like this sometimes. You just kind of get drawn in with the plot, all the characters, and every character in this movie kind of has an arc to them. I think people who saw the movie back in the 70s are a little bit overreactive because apparently some people were like fainting and having like heart palpitations from the movie because it was just so scary. But, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm just desensitized, but I didn't really, I don't think it got ever that scary. Like, yeah, some of the hospital stuff was pretty gross, I guess, but I had never felt like fainting or like I needed an ambulance to take me away or something like that. But yeah, I really like Ellen Bernstein's performance in this movie as the mother, because like wow, everything Reagan does between the vomiting, the head spinning, saying a bunch of slurs, walking down the stairs backwards. Yeah, that's freaky, but seeing it from Ellen Bernstein's perspective, like that's whole dawdle. It brings it much down to earth. You're like, ooh, wow, now that's scary. Your own daughter's being possessed rather than just some random person you don't know anything about. I like the scenes earlier in the movie where they establish like, yes, this mother and daughter have a good relationship. They're not perfect, but they still have, very healthy dynamic, I guess. And that's why you care so much that Reagan gets saved, because you care about Ellen Bernstein and her relationship with her. It's really good. I like the opening of the movie a lot. Well, Max von Sydow, for some reason, they cast this 40-year-old man to play this elderly dude. It works though. Like he's a great actor. Those of you might remember him from Game of Thrones. He was the dude who sat in the tree. Well, he's in this. He starts off the movie in Iraq, and the first time watching it, I didn't really know why this was in the movie. It doesn't really connect to most of the other stuff besides him finding the gem and stuff. There's kind of this eerie vibe about it because nothing really happens, but the father kind of gets these like crazy feelings, like something's gonna go down. You know, a lot of subtle foreshadowing with the statue and digging up all these burial grounds, and I don't know. It's just a really interesting sequence. I like it. I think sometimes I think the entire movie should have been that, and then the second movie be the main plot. But I feel like most people would kind of walk out of like the entire first movie was just Iraq and nothing really happening. But I liked it a lot. It kind of set the tone for the rest of the movie. And what I like about the main movie is that it doesn't take place in some like desolate place. Like random cabin, random Arctic base, random space station. It takes place in just a normal city, Georgetown. I've never been, but from what they show, it just seems like your average urban area, and I think that's pretty scary because that's like where most people live. It kind of reminds me a little bit of my neighborhood. It's like this could happen to anybody. I like that. Happens to this average girl, who doesn't really have anything strange about her at the beginning. So I feel like it makes it more creepy. Probably my favorite character is Father Karras, who really well acted. He has a nice arc in this movie. He's a priest, but also a psychologist, and his psychologist teachings have kind of hold his faith a little bit. He feels really guilty about putting his mother in a home, and the mom dies a couple days later. That's very sad. I feel like a lot of people could relate to that. And I love how the demon uses his grief about that to mock him and to like upset him and stuff. Like this demon isn't some like mindless zombie. It's smart. It knows how to fuck with people. I really like those scenes, especially his kind of unsettling dream sequence where his mom's going down the subway train, like descending into hell, and he's trying to chase her, but he doesn't really go anywhere. It's like he's running in place. That's a great scene. I like that a lot. The main point I'm getting at here is that the movie, like unlike most horror movies, actually focuses on character development and stuff. That's why I enjoy horror movies like The Shining or Alien and Aliens, stuff like that, that really put a focus on the characters. I like how long it takes them to realize that it's a demon, though, and not just mental illness. Like, how the fuck would mental illness be able to, like, shake the bed, have your head spinning around? It just, like, come on, guys. Like, are you a bunch of Dana Scully's over there? I don't know. Talk in a completely different voice. It takes them a long time to be like, okay, yes, he needs an exorcism. And I love how casually Ellen Bornstein talks to the priest about this. He's like, so, do you know how to get an exorcism? Maybe it's less skepticism and more just like feel that it's actually the demon, the devil. Because, mental illness could be treated and stuff, but the devil, that's a completely different story. So maybe that was more the intention. Also, the big exorcism sequence at the end is intense, terrifying. Um, just great acting by all three of them. Linda Blair, despite being 13 at the time, is such a great actress. Like, I think it's very rare to see teenage actors or younger actors be convincing, but she's really good. She plays the kind of naive, 13-year-old well. She plays the possessed child well. She kind of plays like the you know, just desperate victim well. She's great. So the scene with her, Max von Sydow, and Kuras, whatever his actor's name is, um, uh, it's just really good. Like very intense scenes, helped by kind of they don't show that much music in the movie, and I think that's for the benefit because you could just get so absorbed into the scenes. And of course, at the end of the movie, Father Cross sacrifices himself by to save the girl by like having the demon go into him and then busting his head through the window, falling down a bunch of flights of stairs and dying. And then they just give this like random priest all the credit for like because he let the exorcism happen. He signed off on the exorcism, so they're like, thank you so much. And it's like he didn't do anything. Yeah, it's like okay. I guess there was nobody else to thank because our main two priests were dead. But it just felt kind of like anticlimactic. They treat this guy as a hero, and he was only in like one of the scene. Say okay, I guess. But overall, it's a classic movie. I enjoy it. I thought it was pretty cool seeing it on the big screen and seeing the extended edition, which I haven't seen. Like I've only seen the normal edition, so it's cool seeing the extended edition. Just really cool. I love when movie theaters bring back these old movies and the entire place is packed. Like I was kind of surprised at how packed The Exorcist was. Most of it was older people, but I saw a couple of people younger than me. So it's nice to see that younger generations, we're not all just TikTok like mind rot. Um, so younger people could actually enjoy these slower paced movies. So let me know what you guys thought of the original Exorcist down in the comments below. Do you think I should see the new Exorcist? I don't think I should. It looks like a pile of crap. Um, as most horror sequels are, besides Aliens, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.